Amid everything that has happened this season in the NBA, the New Orleans Pelicans are a team that is not getting talked about enough for my liking. This is a squad with Zion Williamson that last year, after 25 games, was the best team in the Western Conference. And then, of course, he got hurt, and their cast of Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, guys like Trey Murphy, they were still good. They got them into the play-in, but they were not able to get them into the playoffs. So this offseason, they go out, they get a guy like Jordan Hawkins, and they run it back this year essentially, except you add Hawkins, who's a really good shooter, to a squad that didn't really have good shooting last year. And I think this is going to make for a really good team, especially once you add in a healthy Zion. So make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below, as well as hitting that subscribe button, because as you can see here, basically everybody that watches the videos is not subscribed, so go ahead and change that. And the last promo that we got to throw in is the new channel, the second channel. If you like Madden content, go check that out. With that being said, though, yeah, the same old story. I mean, we see it every single year. Pelican Zion Williamson looks absolutely jacked during preseason workouts, and yet the man has played 114 career games in 4 years. Out of a possible, if anybody's good at math, do 82 times 4. Actually, I think one of those games was 72. One of those seasons was 72 games. But still, when he's good, he's good. And that makes a whole lot of sense, obviously. But when he's healthy, this man's one of the best players in the NBA, and you really can't argue that. Last year, at 22 years old, he played 29 games, and in those 29, or for the first 25 of those 29 games, the Pelicans were 17-8 and in first place in the Western Conference. He averaged 26 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Then he got hurt, was out for the season, and that was the last we heard of the Pelicans until they played the Thunder in the play-in tournament, won that one and then lost the second one. But last year, Zion shot at 61% from the field. 26 points a game on 61% from the field shooting is just blasphemous. I mean, it's crazy. I need a full season of Zion. Please stay healthy this year, and the Pelicans will be a top 5, maybe top 4 team in the Western Conference. And this is a very, very competitive Western Conference too. But I think this Pelicans team, they have a stacked-up squad, and I think they should be just fine. They addressed one of their biggest needs in the draft this year. Last year as a team, they were 29th in the NBA in three-point attempts. So they go out, they draft Jordan Hawkins, who honestly has never met a shot he doesn't like. 16.2 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, and 1.3 assists last year on an absolutely dominant UConn team that really ran the table in the NCAA tournament. Nobody even came close. 49% from the field, 39% from three, 89% from the free throw line. So literally a stat off in every single category from 50, 40, 90. 8 3-point attempts a game last year at UConn. Like I said, the man has never met a shot he doesn't like. So he will take care of those issues. He can shoot from wherever, however. Unlimited range, can do it off the dribble, off the catch, fading away. Jordan Hawkins can do it all. And he is going to be a guy this year that I think instantly steps in and help the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't care about his summer league stats. Okay, the summer league's a summer league. Now, E.J. Liddell, he will be back. He missed all of last year with a torn ACL, but he was an absolute steal 2 years ago in the second round, and I think he's going to be a guy that helps out this Pelicans rotation from day one. Now, we will obviously talk about where he fits in the rotation, but that's later on in today's video, so make sure you stick around. Now, let's talk about their all-star duo of C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram last year put up 25 points a game and about 6 rebounds a night, while also shooting it very well from the field. Brandon Ingram at this point in his career is just an absolutely elite scorer. Just playing with Zach LaVine right there. 48% from the field, 39% from three. Shades of Kevin Durant at that young of an age. 5.5 rebounds a game, 35 minutes. He was the best player on the Pelicans for the last few years now. He has been keeping them afloat during all the Zion controversies and injuries. And then CJ McCollum, who's been a very steady pace ever since they traded for him. 21 points a game and 6 assists a night for McCollum in a Pelicans jersey. 44% from the field, 39% from three. Both of these guys are experienced veterans that know how to put the ball in the basket. And honestly, it's as simple as that. CJ, 35 minutes a game, and then 1 steal per game as well. So he plays a little bit of a combo guard. Don't really have a true point guard in that lineup, but CJ averaging 6 assists per game gets the job done. Now, they have a young wing duo that we also need to talk about. Helping out the spacing and defense around Zion Williamson is Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. Herb Jones more the defense. His nickname is Straight Jacket Jones for a reason. 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Not bad for a former second-round pick. And not to mention, he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA with that elite wingspan,
He's just really good at locking people down. 47% from the field, 34% from three, 1.6 steals a game. Herb Jones he's him defensively. And then Trey Murphy took a huge jump last year, 14.5 points a game, 3.8 rebounds. Trey Murphy kind of came out of nowhere. It really shocked me how good of a season he had last year. 49% from the field, 41% from three. Really, really strong seasons from those two Pelicans young forwards. That, in my opinion, has been somewhat disappointing for the Pelicans so far during his young NBA career is Dyson Daniels. The number 8 overall pick in the draft a year ago. Only averaged 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now, he wasn't getting the most PT in the world, and he was kind of buried on the bench, but still, number 8 overall pick. And maybe this year, he can develop a little bit more, play a little better, but 18 minutes a game when he was averaging 4 points, 3 rebounds. 42% from the field, 32% from three. Maybe we see him develop into more of the traditional point guard role for the Pelicans, but another guy that is, trying to develop into the point guard for the Pelicans on his last chance is Kira Lewis Jr., former lottery pick as well. But, he has just been unable to stay healthy. Hasn't really made that big of an impact for the Pelicans in any season thus far in his NBA career. So I'm thinking that this year for Kira Lewis Jr., kind of make or break. If he doesn't have a good year, they're probably not re-signing him to a longer contract. Now let's take a look at my projected lineups for this year. Really running it back with the starting lineup. You only got to see 29 games at most with this squad, depending on who was hurt at what time. And I think Brandon Ingram was honestly hurt for the majority of that time. So still yet to see a full season of the Zion, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum experiment. You bring in Herb Jones, he's about the best small forward you could ask for, other than the fact that he can't shoot the 3-ball, but elite perimeter defender. If you want to go for more spacing around Zion, then you throw in Trey Murphy instead of Herb Jones, or maybe Trey Murphy instead of Jonas Valanciunas. Unfortunately, Valanciunas is developing that 3-ball a little bit more, so maybe he can stretch it out a little bit this year. But with Herb Jones and Zion and Valanciunas in there at the same time, that's some pretty poor spacing. Taking a look at the bench unit, here's what we got. Jose Alvarado at the backup point guard spot, and I'm going to go ahead and give Jordan Hawkins the backup 2-guard spot because they need shooting in a bad way. They have Trey Murphy, Najee Marshall's all right. Jose Alvarado not a shooter, Larry Nance Jr. not really a shooter. I guess he can stretch it out if needed, but throwing Jordan Hawkins in there, he's a guy that, hey, we're going to go get shots for this guy. We're going to go get 5 or 6 threes a game for this guy. Same thing with Trey Murphy. And I think the bench can be solid. Maybe we see a Dyson Daniels or a Kira Lewis Jr. develop. But as for right now, Jose Alvarado has won that backup point guard spot. And I don't think there's much of an argument to make that. And then Najee Marshall just as the enforcer there. And, I'm excited to watch Trey Murphy. He's going to be the 6th man this year, and I think he's going to have a much, much more expanded role. Now, let's take a look at the bench here, or the others, I guess you could say. E.J. Liddell, another young guy, Dyson Daniels, both of those guys going into their 2nd year, even though technically E.J. Liddell is, I guess you could say, a rookie. Kira Lewis Jr., make or break year, we talked about him. Overall, the Pelicans also have Cody Zeller, brought him in from the Miami Heat. I guess that's just extra insurance. I don't know why you would bring in Cody Zeller. He looks like a history teacher at this point in his career, but I guess he played decent minutes for the Heat in the NBA Finals this year, but they got run by the Nuggets. So yeah, that's my take on the Pelicans this year. If Zion stays healthy, this is a top 3 or 4 seed in the West, and I feel like that's a pretty solid statement given the fact that they were a number 1 seed in the West before he got hurt last year. But yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to the like button and hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.